so much for reading the blog. The blog has been up and going for over a year now. So if you've been following it and reading it, retweeting it, reposting it, whatever, thank you so much for supporting me. I can't believe I've been doing this for over a year, for blogging. So this is a spinoff from the blog. It's the video. I'm going to start doing YouTube videos every now and again. I am going to continue to write, but I just want to do something different to kind of switch things up. So I'm going to let my co-hosts introduce themselves, starting with Alton.
Oh, you started down there. Okay. My name is Alton Young. You can follow me on Twitter at YellowDuckEnt, YellowDuckEnt. Yeah.
Okay, all right. My name is Morgan Dickerson. You can follow me on Twitter at Morgan_T, T-E-E. So MORGAN_TEE. That's it.
My name is Cordell Piggy. You can follow me on Twitter at BillCopig. It sounds just like it is, BILCOPIG, BillCopig.
All right, and you can also follow me on Twitter at Ebony Marie R-E at the end. So tonight we're gonna start off talking about Brandy. Some of you may know that she just dropped the second single off her newest album, 211, this past Tuesday. Put It Down, featuring Chris Brown. Everybody knows about Brandy. This album is going to be the 6th studio album to come out. Some of you might know that Human didn't do as well as some of her previous albums. I don't know why, because I thought it was hot. But it didn't do as well. She's a Grammy Award winner for The Boy Is Mine. So with this album coming out, it's coming out in June 2012. Basically, what I want to ask everybody is, do you think Brandy can make a comeback and just jump in?
Yes, I do think that it is very possible for Brandy to make a comeback. Of course, she's going to have to switch up the things that she's used to. I love riding Jerkins, but that's not working. So she's going to have to change it up. And just because he's a great producer for other artists like Destiny's Child, Beyonce, and I think he's working with a little bit more mainstream artists, she's going to have to change that up just a little bit. I know with her new single, she's working with Chris Brown, and he's a hit maker, so that's a good step for her, but I don't know if her target audience has changed since she's grew up some more. That's going to have to change. Her first single with Monica, honestly, I didn't like the song. I don't know if it's the little MacBook line that just bothered me, but it was something about it that just made me, it just turned me off. But that's always a way to sell records, put out an angry black woman song, and that's a hit, Right. That I still love because, what is it called? After he cheats?
Before he cheats.
Yeah.
I still love that song. So, if you put an angry song out like that, then it's supposed to be a hit. It's just something about it. I don't know if it was rushed too much after Whitney's death, and again, I think that's one of the reasons she titled it, her birthday and her death or whatever, but I don't know. It just... When I hear it, I turn the station.
I didn't even, when Ebony was reading off and said the second thing, I'm like, man, what the first thing? Because I missed it. So, but in my opinion, I'm happy that Morgan said that though, because as Ebony and I were discussing earlier, I don't want to say that Brandy can't make a comeback, because I didn't want to speak to her future, but what I can say, I don't think that the way she's going is beneficial for her career. Like, you get Brandy right now, a 32, 33-year-old woman with little Chris Brown, who's 22, 23. There's a big age difference. Their maturity level is different. And, what was it? Put It Down?
Put It Down.
And, I was listening to it, and it was like, you can put it down to make me fall in love. I put it down so good, you're going to fall in love. At the age of 33, you should know that it's going, as far as love is concerned, it's more than just putting it down. And I think, man, Brandy, you could have come out with something better. I understand what she's doing as far as, trying to get something that's going to play and be hot in the streets. But when you think, as Morgan said, when you think about her target audience, I don't know very many 33, 34-year-olds walking around trying to put it down to make people fall in love. You should already be past the stage of using sex as a weapon or sex as an object to draw your mate. I'm not getting it at all.
Well, my opinion, I personally don't like the fact that she named it 211. Whether, she has a personal relationship with Whitney Houston or anything like that, but you say the song is an angry song. So why do you have an angry song called is the CD 211?
Yeah, it's the name of the album.
The album.
That's her
is
birthday as well as Whitney Houston's death
Oh,
date.
okay. So I didn't know that we need to.
no, but it's cool though because honestly, even that, and I was trying not to go into the no. It's cool because the whole little Whitney thing. I'm feeling some kind of way about Whitney and Brandy because like y'all know when we were watching the Stellar Awards when we found out that Whitney was dead or whatever, and then they started showing the clips of the Brandy Monica interview, and Whitney passed the letter to Brandy. Brandy was all uncomfortable, and they was looking at Whitney like she was crazy. First, Brandy, if you ever watch this, you need to tell us what was on that letter so we can probably understand you a little better. And secondly, I don't like how Whitney was treated doing that, so I don't know if the 211 was almost like out of guilt or trying to capitalize on Whitney's death. Because if Whitney wouldn't have never died, if Whitney wouldn't have died on that date, would that have been? Are you doing that just so some of the Whitney fans can now say, oh, try to give Brandy some type of sympathy by? I'm not getting that.
To me, it sounded like it came from because that was her birthday, and apparently that's the new. And I like Brandy, but I'm really over people naming their albums after numbers. I'm really over
Well, it worked for Adele.
4, 21, 19. And I mean, it worked for them, and yeah, but I'm just kind of over that. I need people to get past that. So any artist, if you got an upcoming album, get over the number thing. No
Except for Adele, because I'll be buying yours when it's 72. Like, for real, that girl can sing.
She don't feel in love, so
I want her to be mad all the time.
My issue is with the letter. I'm actually okay. No, the letter.
Whitney's letter. Okay.
I'm actually okay with her not telling what that letter is because some things need to be kept private.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Some things are meant for that reader and those particular readers wherever it's supposed to go to. And like that's what's wrong with the world now. We always in somebody else's business.
That is true.
As far as the deep stuff, famous people, celebrities are gonna always be in the limelight. Don't get me wrong. There's gonna always be something, but then there's at some point we as people need to be like, okay, that is their business. We need to focus on what they're actually doing instead of what's going on deep into their life.
You're right, but the nosy part of me, like if the letter just said, "Hey, Brandy, let's go eat," just tell her she wanted to go get something to eat or something. I just want to know, like, as a fan of the music industry, not per se, oh, I'm a diehard Whitney fan, I'm a diehard Brandy fan, but like, I feel that by them showing it on TV, when you are on a certain platform, you're allowing people in your life. And at that point, when you open yourself up and you're going to be transparent, then be transparent. You have to be ready to take on different levels. Each level, it's a different level of exposure. And I think where Whitney was and where Brandy is, you should be accustomed to that. Like, don't show us, Whitney sliding you the letter and you looking at it and passing it off if you're not willing to discuss it.
I think too with her, I think she was gonna name it 211 regardless if Whitney died or not. But it just so happened Whitney died on her birthday. So, and then everybody does know that she did look up to Whitney. I mean, this is something we knew way before Whitney passed, and that she looked up to Whitney because of how excited she was when she found out she was going to be doing Cinderella with Whitney and stuff. So we've known for years she looked up to her, and so this was just, I think, a coincidence. And she is gonna put in there. But my thing about Put It Down, and the reason why I think this was a single was, okay, for one, we know artists try to play it smart, and sometimes they're gonna do what they know is gonna be on the radio. So she know Chris Brown gonna be on it, it's gonna be on the radio, everybody gonna be listening to it. And I understand what you're saying, she too old, but I feel like with Human, that was Brandy, but yet everybody was just like, I ain't feeling that, it's too slow, we over that. So yeah, and I liked it. I thought it was
I didn't even know there was one called Human.
And I mean, and that to me, that album was free. She said it was about me. It was, I'm human, things happen, stuff like that. And so when she went that route, then folks was like, no, we ain't feeling that. So right now, I think she's playing it smart by saying, okay, I'm gonna do what I know people want to hear. And I think the album's gonna give us some classic Brandy, maybe with a little twist or something like that. But I feel like to get people to at least buy the album, to get people talking about her again, she's gonna put out something commercial. She even said that herself. She knows the song is commercial, but she can also hear it in the club.
Right.
So I feel like she's playing it real smart, and then probably later on we'll come out with something that we know Brandy for.
And which is smart because you always need something to jump you off.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You always need something like her career had to start somewhere. She used somebody to get to where she is now. So why not use somebody else to make her career even better?
Mm-hmm.
So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
When I think about Brandy, I go back to and when I was a little boy, Best Friend and I Want to Be Down, and then even coming up to the Full Moon album, she had a song like Love Wouldn't Count Me Out and stuff. That, in my opinion, is Brandy. Mm-hmm. When you say, can Brandy make a comeback, can Brandy start over, I think Brandy was Brandy's downfall in a sense, because if you all remember, growing up, we were all pretty much the same age. Whenever you looked on TV at Video Soul, or whenever you you got in the car, any Total Request Live before or 106 Park or whatever, it was always Brandy. Brandy was everywhere. When Brandy was pregnant and she lied about the whole marriage thing, I think that was the beginning of her downfall. Then the wreck came, and then she just left out of the spotlight. I don't think that she, as an artist, I don't think that she really needs a gimmick, and that's what I really feel that is part of the downfall of the entertainment industry, the music industry, because everybody wants a gimmick. Nobody wants to use their God-given talent anymore. Everybody wants to use a gimmick, and I'm gonna get with this person because this person is hot right now. The thing about music is that music is timeless. When you listen to like music over the generation, there's certain songs from the 60s and 70s and 80s that we would listen to now like it just came out. And I think that people, like most of the music that we hear today is only for this time. But fads, they're gonna pass and they're gonna move, and Have You Ever? If you hear Have You Ever, man, a thug was gonna be, like that's his jam on Have You Ever, and I think that's where she should stick to. If you have a diehard fan, that fan is gonna be there regardless. Look at Whitney, for example, and I keep going back. Whitney had all these struggles and stuff, but there were still people who were in her corner and are still in her corner now, defending her legacy after she has passed. When you get those fans, then I think that those are the people who are gonna like be there forever. Although I do feel that Brandy lost some people, but just be who you are, regardless of the mistakes and shortcomings. I think the people who holding you down gonna continue to hold you down.
And then, like, you brought up about her marriage, and I think once again Brandy played it very smart. We know her Behind the Music came out last week. She played it very smart again because she went into all of that. Why she lied about the marriage. Why earlier she lied about dating Wanye, because her management told her, well, you have this image, and if you're dating him, that's going to ruin that image. Then later on, she was told, well, if you come out that you're an unwed mother, it's going to ruin your image. So she explained to us in that Behind the Music why she lied about these relationships. She talked about the wreck and all this stuff. So again, I feel like she played it smart because, like you said, maybe some people after she lied about the marriage was like, man, I'm done with Brandy. She's doing the most. But I feel like she did that. We see why she did it. We understand it wasn't all Brandy's fault. It was management, aka Sonya Norwood. And so, but go ahead.
Well, which is fair. Like, why not? If it's your manager, you know what I'm saying? They're supposed to manage you the way they think is best. Now, did it turn out for her best interest? Yeah. No, it did.
Yeah, she even admitted that.
Right, it didn't turn. But on the same hand, you have to do stuff in the entertainment field in order to make you look better. You know what I'm saying? Or in order to make you look good, because you already put yourself under this big umbrella where you are a perfect person in the limelight. So it only, you know what I'm saying, who wouldn't lie about something like that?
Yeah. And then too, I'm sorry, I didn't cut you out.
No,
but I feel like Brandy is most certainly not the first artist to do that. I mean, I'm pretty sure Beyonce done lied about stuff. Stop. Beyonce probably lied about stuff. Chris Brown probably lied about stuff. I mean, all these artists, they know they have an image, so everybody done lied about something. Brandy just got caught big time.
I don't think the lie so much is like the pregnancy. I mean, I don't think the pregnancy is as big as the lie to cover up the pregnancy, because at some point, like I remember Brandy had, like, during the time she was quote unquote married, they had that little I don't know what the name of the show was, but it used to come on like following her around while she was pregnant, and she was in and out of the stores. Her and her mama like shopping for stuff, and the boyfriend, the baby daddy, like they were so married on TV and stuff. I think that like you misled the people who would have held you down regardless. And I say that I'm a Fantasia fan. Everybody know me and Fantasia got married when I was in 10th grade, and we still going through right now. But Fantasia, she had the baby by a dude who was married. A lot of people like try to throw her down or whatever, but I'm still holding up my Fantasia banner. Yeah, you messed up, but I'm gonna ride it out with you just because that's what diehard people do. Now, when you tell me something and you lead me to believe something, and then it's something totally different, then that's when I lose my trust. And I think that's what she should have realized. And you brought up the, I don't know if it was you or Cordell, I think it was you and Cordell kind of piggybacked on it when you were talking about her management. You can only blame the management for a certain degree of it because yet and still Brandy at that point was not the teenage Brandy. Brandy was an adult, period, point blank. She was an adult. She could have easily said, okay, this is what I'm going to do. It almost made it seem like that she was ashamed of what she had done. Everybody has done something, so we can't just point the finger at her. And I don't think the pregnancy was as a big deal, as of a big deal as they made it though. Yeah. That's all.
I mean, I'm sure she was ashamed. We all make mistakes, and like she wasn't. Yeah, she's older. Don't get me wrong, but some people still have growing to do. Like she's only what 33 now. And so back then she was younger. Yeah, it's still at 30 years old.
I'm 7 or 8.
Yeah, you still.
And she said herself.
Yeah, I thought she was older than 7 or 8.
Yeah, and then you got to remember too, she came from a Christian background. Her dad was minister of music, so she knowing how church people were gonna feel. Yeah. And judging her, oh, you unwed and your daddy do this in the church and you was raised up in the church and now look at you. So she knew, and we all know how folks can get about that.
Oh,
and so
she's originally from the South.
Exactly. So
Mississippi.
Yeah.
Dude, you already know.
That's why I said I don't blame her. Now, honestly, if she wasn't a superstar, we'd be like, whatever. But I don't blame her. Maybe she could have did it a different way. Maybe she didn't have to do the reality show. I don't know. But I feel like her doing her behind the music really helped us to see why she did it. And then too, you gotta remember her fans are our age now because we were kids when she was at. And I feel like we're mature music listeners now. We ain't just worried about. We're not worried about just beats and stuff like that. Even though I feel like Brandy's trying to get the younger and also us,
which is smart.
And so I feel like her fans or the ones that made her famous. We're mature listeners now, or music listeners. So I feel like now that's why I feel she can make a comeback.
And it's funny that you say that is because we put Brandy on the same level with Monica. And Monica's music is mature. Mm-hmm. And people like Monica's music, you know what I'm saying? And so I don't see why anyone wouldn't necessarily like Brandy's music. But I do get the fact that the younger crowd plays a big deal in the music industry now. They really do. Especially because we don't vote honestly on 106 and Park. Let's just be
honest. That's not 106 and Park like for high school shows.
I understand it, but why?
That's what she's trying to do.
You're right.
I think it's also a transition from being a child star, whether it's acting, music, whatever, and then trying to, transition into an adult. Like they're in the spotlight, and a lot of the decisions that were made, of course, the momager that she had, that was just kind of, those weren't, I don't want to blame it all on her because, again, if I was in that situation, I'm going to always trust my mom. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to go against what she says because, she's going to always have my best interests at heart. So, of course, if I trusted my career with her, I'm going to always go with what she says. So, I don't want to blame it all on Miss Sonya either, but you just kind of, it's kind of hard or whatever. And then if you think about most of the celebrities that started off as kids, 12, 13, 14, whether they were in music or on television or in movies or whatever, it's been difficult to watch them transition. A lot of them get into drugs, and Monica is one of the success stories. So it's kind of hard that Brandy is compared to her so much because what she did was pretty rare. And if we go back 2 years ago, we would have been like, "Where's Monica?" Yeah, now now we talking about "Love All Over Me" and all these songs that she just put out.
And that song "Cry."
But it's we didn't know where she was. She was just doing her thing or whatever. But now we've watched her rise, and people can look at her and say, "Wow, she's been through this. She's had kids. She's had." Like a public relationship, relationship with what's that rapper Rocco? Yeah, she dated him. But and then also with her ex, committing suicide in front of her. You just watch it, and a lot of people can identify with her story. But there are a lot of fans that identify with Brandy since.
And I think that's what we appreciate about people like Monica, people honestly like Fantasia, people who live their struggle and they take you down through there. So when you hear their music, you feel their pain and you like, and it's really not whatever is popular at the moment. They give you the raw talent, and those are the type of singers that I love for real. And I'm not saying that Brandy does not have raw talent or anything like that. I don't want my words twisted in a way. I'm just saying that I prefer a singer who tells the story of things that they've lived. Like when Mary J was depressed and all that stuff, that's like, in my opinion, when she made some of her best music. That's the type of stuff that I personally appreciate.
And at the end of the day, the main question was, do we think she can make a comeback? She definitely can make a comeback. Like, just like you said, Monica, like it was funny how you went to that situation. Monica was down and out, you know what I'm saying? Like, literally. And look at where she is now. Like, you almost can't even tell that she had issues. You can't tell the drug issues. It's just
Monica had drug issues?
Wait, am I doing?
Well, issues.
I
don't know if you had drugs, but something's wrong with you.
I think that's the wrong.
You done went to women. You done went to women.
I'm sorry, anyway, the issue that you had.
And then also, y'all, we gotta remember when Human came out. And maybe Monica's last when she decided to go hip hop for some reason.
Talking about the one right before this one?
See, Monica, you don't need to do this.
When she did the show on, when she the show came out, was leading up to it. Yeah, I didn't. That didn't do too well.
Exactly, but we gotta remember Twitter is out now. And so Twitter, I mean, to me, I don't care what nobody say. Twitter can make your career because you are so close to your fans.
Like they right there.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's easy for them to get
like literally following you. They right behind you.
It's easy for somebody to see a tweet because I've seen a tweet about something and I will go on Google and look at it.
Exactly.
I even found out about the song initially. I'm like, she got something with Chris Brown.
Exactly. So I mean, because even if you don't follow that artist, somebody on your timeline gonna retweet.
Don't you hate when you follow somebody? I mean, you don't follow somebody and they get retweeted on your timeline.
Yeah. So I mean, even if you don't follow Brandy, it's gonna get retweeted about her single, especially with it being Chris Brown. So with Twitter, I think she can make a comeback. So to finalize it, what I'm gonna say, do you think Brandy can make a comeback?
Can I ask a question? When you say Brandy make a comeback, are you talking about Brandy the singer or Brandy the entertainer? Because she was on Thea, she did Moesha and all that other stuff. So what part of her career are you talking about?
I guess we're gonna talk about music because she hasn't really been talking about doing any more acting. I don't know. She gonna be on something with Tyler Perry, ain't she? She been on the game, but ain't nobody watching the game.
Well, the game actually, I'm actually very proud of Brandy.
She is on the game
because she had that made me feel more mature. You know what I'm saying? Like it made me feel like she was more mature. And that she's not the same Moesha anymore. You know what I'm saying? She's actually an actor that's actually acting to a bigger audience and a more mature audience. And I love it. She did really good.
So I guess we can sum it up. Do we feel as a entertainer, music, acting, do we think she can make the big comeback?
Yes.
Word? I definitely think so.
I'm going with the majority of them. No, yeah, she can.
Okay, and I also feel you can make a comeback, Brandy. So if you watch this, we are supporting you 100%. I can't wait for 211 to come out. I will most certainly be buying it June 2012.
I'm going to listen to yours.
I'm going to put it down, you gon' fall in love. I'm going to put it down, you gon' fall in love. I'm going to put it down, you gon' fall in love. I'm going to put it down, you gon' fall in love. I'm going to put it down, you gon' fall in love. I'm going to put it down, you gon' fall in love. I'm going to put it, I'm going to put it, I'm going to put it, I'm going to put it down.
If you put it down right, like the way I want it, play it